Cycle Talk TV is brought to you by Ducati, Kawasaki, KTM, Harley-Davidson, On Two Wheels Motorsports, Polaris, Triumph and Victory.
Welcome to Cycle Talk TV. In this episode we go on tour with two of Harley-Davidson's new Project Rushmore Tourers, the Street Glide and the Ultra Limited. We ride the Kawasaki Z1000, a modern take on one of the most iconic motorcycles of all time. We also ride a 1933 hand-change Ibiza, a BSA. Now that's an experience. We've got the usual product pick of the week, but first, Nigel's been to America to ride the new electric Livewire Harley-Davidson. Check that out.
This is Project Livewire, Harley's electric motorcycle. Yeah, this bike probably never ever go on sale, but obviously Harley's doing its development because the future is electric. I've ridden this machine. It's pretty amazing. It feels very, very refined and very, very finished for something that's really a prototype and really a concept machine. But it goes, it handles, it stops. It's got an incredible whine sound from the electric engine when you ride it. So it's not dead silent, which you sort of might expect. It's very easy to ride, no clutch, no gearbox to speak of, and they had it in the low power mode, so it didn't exactly, light up the skies with performance. This is the future. It'll be interesting to see where Harley takes it. I hope they can get something like this out to sell to the market and see how the market takes it, because it's a really, really interesting thing, really interesting to ride. And Cycle Talk TV, one of the first magazines and television shows in the world to get a chance to throw a leg over one.
A little over 10 years ago, Kawasaki reintroduced the Z1000, its classic naked performance bike. Since then, Kawasaki has restyled the bike every few years, and each time the bike has had in-your-face changes. Usually those changes have worked pretty well. And the new model with the big hump fuel tank, the letter Z stamped into just about everything, it really makes the bike look very purposeful and mean. The performance stands up to the image as well. Kawasaki calls this bike its super naked, and with 140 horsepower on tap, we tend to agree. Ever since the first Z1000 came out in the 1970s, the bike has had a dual overhead cam, 4-cylinder inline engine. Of course, for many years now, they've had still dual overhead cams. We've got 4 valves per cylinder, liquid cooling and fuel injection. The flattish handlebars and the slightly lean forward riding position combine to make this bike a great thing to ride through the bends. The bars give you, the rider, nice leverage to tip in, and the suspension is really built for you to be riding quick on decent roads too. Of course, those modern changes make the bike not only very powerful, but they're also very civilised. So they're easy to ride in traffic, and if there's someone behind you with a blue shirt on, well, hopefully you won't want them to notice you. The new Z1000 makes a lot of sense in 2014. The lack of a fairing and the riding position combined to make it pretty tiring for high-speed long runs. So hanging onto your licence is a bit easier. This bike is really built for one person though, with the pillion position up high and quite a way back. So tell your friends to ride their own bike while you enjoy something big, strong and naked. The new bodywork on the Z1000 make it a standout from the crowd too, and the LED taillights really make an impression. For a nice extra touch, the seat material all centres around the letter Z too. For those who want to know what the bike's doing all the time, there's a big digital speedo and a bar graph tacho. in the spaceship-inspired instruments. Kawasaki shortened the gearing on the new Z1000 to make it accelerate unbelievably fast, and because no one really cares about top speeds anymore. It's fast, it's really fast, but if you want to go even faster, you better buy something with a fairing.
The Kawasaki Z1000 costs $16,799 plus on-road costs. You can get more information about the bike at www.kawasaki.com.au. Come down to On Two Wheels Motorsports, Sydney's best motorcycle shop and a proud sponsor of Cycle Talk TV, with a huge range of new Yamaha and Kawasaki motorcycles and ATVs, as well as a huge range of spares and all the accessories you're likely to need. On Two Wheels can help get you into the right bike at the right price with the right accessories and the right advice. On Two Wheels Motorsports, 304 Queen Street, Campbelltown. Find us online on social media or call us on 024625 7518.
Everyone puts their pants on one leg at a time. What separates some of us, though, is what we throw a leg over after our pants are on. The new Harley-Davidson Breakout motorcycle. Breakout.
Cycle Talk just doesn't do a TV show, we do a magazine as well. Every month you'll find tests, features, lots of info. Find us in bike shops or online. You can get back issues, www.cycletalk.com.au, iPad, iPhone, we're everywhere.
Talk to any classic bike enthusiast and I'll tell you there's nothing like the charm of these good old bikes. This bike here is your classic shed find. It's a 1933 W6 BSA 500cc side valve with a 4-speed gearbox. Over 35 years ago, this bike lay rusted and damaged in the corner of an old milking shed. Luckily, somebody found the time to give it some TLC and bring it back to life, and we're going to talk to him today. We might even get to go for a ride.
Yeah, when I first found the bike, it was in pretty bad condition. It was very rusty. The front wheel didn't line up with the back wheel, all the frame was twisted. Headlight was smashed in. The battery carrier, it was all bent. The handlebars, they were welded in 3 different places. And it was that bad, I just lived up the road from the neighbour. We more or less carried the bike back home to my place. Yeah, the first thing I wanted to do with the bike was to get it so I could ride it in rallies. So I stripped the motor down, that was the most important part, and I had to get the barrel re-sleeved because the gudgeon had come out and it must have done a fair bit of work with the gudgeon running along the lining. I got it re-sleeved and new rings and got the motor to the stage where it was going, straightened up the wheels so they were in line and fixed anything that was you know, bent and twisted on the bike, and new handlebars and things like that. And I got it to the stage where it was running real good, and I just rode in rallies in the old rusty state that it was in for a few years. It really went well. I had a bit of trouble with the inlet valve seizing every now and again. That seemed to be a problem with this bike, because in the handbook that you got with the bike when it was new, it said carry a spare inlet valve with you, so they must have had trouble in the old days. And when I had it going good, I pulled the bike right down again and got things chromed or nickeled or, you know, and painted. I painted everything myself and made it look a bit respectable, and here it is today, looking like it is. Yeah, the gearbox, when I bought the bike, the owner had put a Army Beezer gearbox in the bike, where it's supposed to have a hand change, what went on the tank, what it's got on now. Anyhow, it took a while to sort of get another hand change gearbox. The son and myself went to a lot of swap meets before we found one. I happened to be in England and I found the hand change mechanism over in England, and I brought that back home, and just by trial and error, working out the distance, the length of the rod, and things I had to make up, just kept experimenting until I got it right. It works really good now. When I was riding it before, when it had the other gearbox in it, it had a foot change and it was on the same side as the back brake, and it was very hard when you come to a corner. You had to decide what you was going to do, brake or change gear. I love riding the bike. It's so, I don't know, you feel really proud that you're riding something that's got plenty of power. It gets along all right, probably only does about 80 clicks, but it handles good, and especially the height of the bike. Like the modern bikes, I have trouble reaching the ground with 2 feet, but this one I can put both feet flat on the ground and no problem at all. And I really love it.
Although I still enjoy modern motorcycling in its various forms, my heart still lies with bikes like this old beezer. Mate, she's fun to ride. It's a bit of a challenge at times with a hand change, but mate, it's very satisfying and takes you to another place. I've enjoyed it so much, I think I might go for another ride.
Can't be matchless in my smoke. If I'm in front, the rest would choke. I think I'd scrape on 2 and 8. Just slide on 9 would just be great. My beezer would just do me fine. Take the fast finish line.
Harley-Davidson basically invented the full dress tourer back in the 1960s, and the heritage of those models has continued right through to the new Project Rushmore touring lineup of Harley-Davidsons for the 2014. The Project Rushmore lineup heralds the introduction of the new 103 cubic inch high output twin cooled engine. Now the liquid cooling for this bike is centered around the exhaust ports and the exhaust valves of the engine. The twin radiators are housed in the leg shields of the electric glide models. Now the electric glide models are the only bike you can get the twin cooled engine with. The other models in the range still use a 103 cubic inch high output motor, but it's just a regular air and oil cooled engine. Both engines have more horsepower and torque than the previous year, and it's up by around 5 to 7%. Besides the obvious engine update, The main ones are the reflex link braking system, better fairing protection, LED daymaker headlights, massive forks, premium shocks on the Australian delivered bikes, and also an uprated stereo. Perhaps the most interesting of those updates is the reflex link braking system. Under 40 kilometres an hour, the front and rear brakes act independently, but over that speed, the ECU can help the rider in emergency situations. If you're, say, doing 100 k's an hour, you jam the rear brake on in a panic situation, the brakes will override that and introduce a front brake as well to help you out. The stereo on the Street Glide is great. Great speakers, it's a conventional style setup, and iPod connectivity. On the Electric Glide Ultra Limited, it takes it up a step further. Touch screen, you can even navigate with your gloves, and the pillion gets their own speakers.
Wellness evening, 6:30 tonight at East Maitland. Call 2NURFM for details.
The batwing fairing on both bikes are pretty much the same. The Street Glide gets a lower screen height than the Ultra Limited, but both bikes have a nifty toggle switch which opens up an air vent. Now this reduces pressure behind the screen, which therefore reduces the buffeting for the rider. I think the two bikes we have on test here represent two different parts of the Harley-Davidson touring market. They're both built on the same platform, but I see the Street Glide as being for a solo rider, someone who wants to go weekends away, a bit of touring, a little bit of two-up stuff. But the Electric Glide Ultra Limited is more about long distance two-up touring. It's got the comfort and it's got the luggage capacity to do so. Now we're here at the Country Lodge Motel at Gloucester. You can see overnight that it's a fairly good frost. Dave and I are ready to hit the road again. You want to check this the Country Lodge Motel out. It's good price, good accommodation, and Gloucester's a beautiful place anyway. You know what, I reckon this is what these bikes are all about, exploring Australia. I mean, look at what we're checking out now, and doing it in style, with your friends, big V-twin engine, a bike that just soaks up the roads, and I'll tell you what, I'm having a great time. Now you can read the full test of the Project Rushmore touring lineup motorcycles in the November 2013 issue of Cycle Talk. But we've got the chance now to test these bikes in Australian conditions over some of New South Wales' best and worst roads. And over the last 2 days, I've been able to rope in my mate Dave Longbottom, who's a contributor for Cycle Talk, to see what he thought of the machines as well, just so that you could get a different opinion. You weren't just taking my word for it. Now Dave, we've spent the last couple of days on these bikes. What did you specifically think of the road handling of these bikes?
I found that they both handled the conditions we've been on extremely well, especially for such a heavy bike. I found the suspension more than adequate, even on some of the worst sections of the roads.
Now Dave, the styling is obviously a bit different. You know, the main thing is the on the Limited, all the extra luggage capacity up here and the leg guards. What did you think of the riding positions? Did you find them the same, a bit different?
To look at, when you look at the handlebars and the tank and the seat positioning, at first glance you think they're the same. But when I was riding the two bikes, I found that the bag just felt more comfortable. I suffer from a bad back at times, and I found that the upright riding position is brilliant on them.
I'll tell you the other thing I really like with the Ultra is the screen. And you see the Street Glide's got that lower screen. I got more buffeting on that bike than I did this one, even though I'm sitting lower. And on this bike here, you know, open face helmet, sunnies, you know, easy rider, down the road, no buffeting whatsoever, and that really impressed me. What did you think of the instruments generally, you know, and that cockpit area?
I quite liked them. On both bikes I had no trouble navigating through any of the different functions that the screens have. Like whether you're going for cruise control, whether you're going for adjusting your radio volume, everything's at hand, it's easy to use.
Overall, you've been pretty happy with the ride over the last couple of days. I know I have been. And really, all it's done is reiterate what I thought when I first rode the bike back in Malaysia. I think they're an unbelievable bike. I mean, I would have said not normally my sort of thing, but realistically, I could own one of these. I think they're a great bike.
I agree. They're a brilliant bike. Best Harleys produced.
The Street Glide will set you back $34,995. The Ultra, $37,995. They're right away prices, and you can get more information from harleydavidson.com.au.
Fearless innovation starts with an attitude. While others claim to be ahead of the curve, we're already leaning into the next one. We're about setting the precedent year after year and letting the rest play catch up. They ride to keep up with today. We ride to own tomorrow.
Back and rides even lower.
Cycle Talk just doesn't do a TV show, we do a magazine as well. Every month you'll find tests, features, lots of info. Find us in bike shops or online. You can get back issues, www.cycletalk.com.au, iPad, iPhone, we're everywhere. My pick of the week is the Australian-made Oggy knob. Now, you might have seen one on a motorcycle before, and if you didn't know what it was, you probably thought, why has that person got a skateboard wheel hanging out the side of the fairing? Well, the reason you fit them is that you save crash damage. And you can see this one here. This one took the brunt of most of the crash damage of a motorcycle and saved the owner thousands of dollars. Oggy knobs are made from high quality materials. The brackets themselves are high tensile steel. The crash knobs are impact absorbing and abrasion resistant. The kits can vary from very simple to quite involved. You look at this one here, this is the Honda CB500, simple bolt-on affair. This particular kit here is the ER6 Kawasaki, a little bit more involved, and over to my right is the 990 Super Duke KTM. Now, no kit is a generic style setup. Each kit itself has been specifically designed for that motorcycle to put the parts at the best spot to reduce the crash damage in the unfortunate event of an accident.
Oggy knobs are available from just about every bike shop around the country. There's thousands of kits to suit all sorts of makes and models. They look good and they work great. You can get more information at kenmar.com.au.